it's Sam. I have my hair pink again. I posted a picture actually today on Instagram, and in the picture it almost looked like Julianne Hough's color, like it was more red. And I was like, oh gosh, I hope people don't think I went red. Not that I care, I mean red is beautiful. But it is pink, it's the same color I did before. Obviously it's just fresh, but it's funny how lighting can change. Like in that setting it looked a lot more red than it actually is. So my hair's not red, it's pink. Yesterday when I got home from getting my hair done, I had a package from NARS with their new Wanted cheek palettes, as well as the new Wanted Powermatte Lip Kit. So I figured today we're just gonna go ahead and do some swatches. I'm gonna share my thoughts. I created this look today, eyes, cheeks, and highlight with this palette. They're called the Narcissus Wanted 1 and Wanted 2 cheek palette. So this is the packaging that it looks like. When you look at it like this, it just looks like a bunch of like blobs. But then when I look at it in the camera, it's actually so funny because the little pixely things show that it's actually someone's face. These retail for $59. It's showing on NARS that it's coming soon. There are 6 shades and they definitely are very good sizes. So the Wanted 1 is the lighter shades. And these are actually quite hard to open, guys. It's really weird because it doesn't look like it's gonna be tricky, but for some reason when you try and pull it in the middle, it doesn't open very well. You have to pull it on the corner. So when you get it and you're like, what's going on? That's just a tip that I've noticed. This is the Wanted 1. So it has the big NARS and then Narcissist or whatever, and then it's just the girl's face. It kind of looks all pixely, her lips, her cheeks, her highlight. So I really do like the packaging. I think it's really pretty. It's interesting. It kind of like makes you look. And then you open it up, it is like silver. And then what I also like on the back is that it does tell you the actual colors of the shades in the palette. So you do get a big full-size mirror, which I really appreciate because as I get older, I've noticed it's a little harder for me to see my mirror farther away. So I like the fact that I have a big mirror that when I'm doing it, I can get up close. It's already built in. So I love the fact that it has that big mirror. So on the top here, we have Unlimited, which is described as a shimmering pale pink. Then we have Buzzed, which is a matte coral. Then we have Notorious, which is a matte lavender. On the bottom here, then we have Kingpin, which is a matte rose. Bumpy Ride, which is a shimmering candy pink. And then Crave, which is a matte bright coral. So here's the shades, and the snow is reflecting off so bad. So I apologize, it's really bright in here today. But there's the colors. So you guys can see there are some shimmery shades and there are some matte shades. And it actually has a nice variation because at first I was like, oh, this is gonna be like too cool for me. But it actually has a really nice mixture because I feel like that is like a really nice kind of like neutral shade. And then this one is definitely warmer. This one is kind of warm as well, but then you have a cool tone. And then this one I actually used as my highlight today. It was beautiful. It looks darker in the packaging than it actually applies on your face. So this is the perfect highlight. So today on my actual face, I have this color right here, which is the bright matte coral, which is called Crave. And then as a topper, like a blush topper, like over the top between where the highlight and the blush goes, I put this middle one, which is Bumpy Ride, and that's that shimmering candy pink. And then as my highlight, I used Unlimited, which is a shimmering pale pink. And I also used Unlimited as my brow bone highlight, as well as my inner corner highlight. And then I used this middle color right here, which is called Buzzed. That's a matte coral. It's not coral to me, but whatever. It's more like a nudie peach, as my crease color, which was absolutely beautiful. And the pigmentation of these guys is so nice. It's really beautiful. They're very buttery, they're very pigmented. You get a really good color payoff. So I'm really impressed with the actual like finish, texture, pigmentation of these. I think they're really good. The highlight was really beautiful. Like it's definitely beaming. It went into the skin nicely. It doesn't like enhance pores. It melts in really well. The blushes are both, I mean, the ones that I did use were beautiful. The one that I used in my crease was just, it blended out so well. And you do get a lot of fallout with these guys. So just keep that in mind because I did notice that when I was using them as an eyeshadow, where's my towel? Where's the towel when you need it? I did get quite a bit of fallout on my face. So, I mean, obviously they're not an eyeshadow palette, but you can use them as an eyeshadow palette. And you guys know that I happen to have quite a struggle finding eyeshadow palettes currently, or eyeshadows in general, that don't make my eye water, just the one. And this one so far, I have been outside. It was 28 degrees this morning. I was running around and my eyes have not watered at all. So maybe I'm just gonna start wearing blush on my eyeshadow, or as my eyeshadow instead, because I did not have any problems with any of these powders on my eye. And I put quite a lot on there. Okay, so those are the shades. So we have that shimmery one, which is what the one I used as my highlight. That was the color I put in my crease as a transition shade. And then this is that lavender one, I forgot what that one was called. And then those are the two that I have on my cheek right now. So that I put down first as my base, and then I put that as my cheek topper, and then I use that as my highlight. So you can see they're all really nicely pigmented. They have a really good color. They're all just like really nice. They're very buttery. They're just really beautiful, beautiful shades and really nice quality. So I absolutely love Wanted One. I think it's absolutely amazing. So that is the Wanted One palette. That one is kind of geared, in my opinion, more towards like lighter skin tones. So these are limited, guys. I definitely recommend getting it as soon as it comes available because they're limited. Once it's gone, they're not gonna come back. So Wanted One, I would highly recommend. This is a palette that I will definitely be using on a regular basis. I love the fact that it has my built-in mirror. It has like actual cheek shades that I would wear, and it has a highlight already in there. And then I also have that transition eyeshadow. So I love, love, love this palette. I would highly recommend that. Next one is called the Wanted 2. And this one as well is $59. So this one is obviously geared more towards deeper skin tones. So the colors are a little bit deeper. This one looks like this. So it's like the lady's cheek, her eye, and then her lips right here. It's so funny because it looks so clear when I look at it in the screen, but when I look at it at close, or when I look at it up close, I can't tell that it's a person. It just looks like pixely things. And then I'm like, oh, it's a person's face. Duh, it's really weird. I only actually noticed that until I put it in the camera. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, again, you have a big mirror. This again is $59. So right here you have, I don't know how you say it, Pit? Is it Pit? Which is described as a metallic rose right there. Then in the middle here we have Ambition, which is a satin tangerine. We have this color here, which is called, I think it's Taos. It's T-A-O-S. Is that Taos? I have not a clue. That's a soft red with a golden sheen. Then we have this color over here, which is Exposed, and that's described as a matte dusty rose. We have this color here, which is Penthouse, which is a matte raspberry. And then we have this over here, which is Queen, which is a matte ruby. So you can see there's some really gorgeous color, definitely deeper, kind of darker colors. So for me, there would really only be possibly that color, and I could probably get away with that color for a blush on me. These two would definitely be too dark for my skin tone at the moment. I mean, I could probably get away with, like, if I did a really light hand of that one, but they're definitely dark. So what I decided to do with this palette today was use this as my eyeshadow. So I used that first kind of nudie shade in the Wanted One palette as my transition shade. Then I used this color right here, which is the Penthouse, and that is what I put all over my lid today. And then I used the little satin, what is it, the satin tangerine Ambition right here, this orangey color, and I put that kind of in the middle of like the transition shade and the matte raspberry, just to kind of like warm up that crease with a little bit of orange. And then I put this one on the bottom as well. So that's how I used it. And like I said, I haven't had any eye watering problems, which I do have with like almost every single like dry eyeshadow that I use. So I'm really excited that I am actually able to use this on my eyes because I love how this look turned out. It's just really vibrant and fun and colorful. It does make your blue eyes, or if you had green eyes, like really stand out because of that really bright pigment of the kind of raspberry shade. They blend it out beautifully. I mean, they really do. It looks really pretty. I love these colors. I think they're gorgeous. I would definitely use that orangey one as well as a blush. So there's pretty much 3 colors in there that I could definitely get away with as a blush. This shade right here, I haven't even swatched yet. It looks a little, I don't know if I like the tone of that one very much, at least for my skin tone. But we're gonna go ahead and swatch. Okay, so there are the shades of the Wanted 2. So you can see that one doesn't look very good in the actual palette, but when you swatch it, it's actually like a really gorgeous very soft kind of shimmery rose gold. It's really pretty, so don't judge it by it in the palette, because in the palette it looks like it's gonna be more kind of dirty looking, and it's actually really pretty. That tangerine is gorgeous. I mean, you can see how pigmented these shades are. The matte ones are so buttery. They really are really pretty shades. You can see the Wanted 1 is definitely quite a bit lighter than the Wanted 2. There's a lot deeper shades in this palette versus this palette. So it's nice that they have catered to more fair light skin tones versus kind of medium dark skin tones. So those are the cheek palettes. Honestly, it's really just going to depend on your skin tone and what colors you're looking for. I'm happy I have both because I will absolutely be using this as an eyeshadow palette. There are still some colors in there that I would definitely use as blushes as well. So I like both of them. I think you really can't go wrong. It's just going to be depending on what colors you're looking for and what your skin tone is. We have the actual Wanted Power Pack Lip Kits. There are 2 of these. Okay, so these just say on the website coming soon as well. These are $22. You get 2 lip colors in here. They are a long-lasting matte finish on the double, limited edition nude and red sets. Feature 3 new shades in our most powerful matte yet. So they are mini matte, kind of like liquid lipsticks. So there's a nudes, cool nudes, and then hot reds. So this is the hot reds, and again, it's lips, but when you look at it, it just looks pixely. But when I look in the camera, it's looking like lips. It's so weird. It says it's a lip pigment, a Power Matte Lip Pigment. So they are like a nice small little mini size. You can see the color inside from the actual outside of the packaging, which I think is really nice. And it's just like a little square. I have to be honest, when I was applying the nude one this morning, it was very awkward to hold because of the square packaging. It's also so short. The distance between this big old cap and this lip thing is so short that I was like whacking my nose trying to get it on my lips. So I think the packaging was a bit of a fail in my opinion, simply because the wand is too short. It's very awkward to apply. Also, the actual applicator is super stiff and quite pointy. If you guys can see that, it's like this really pointy kind of like, it's like a tapered little point, but it's not flexible and it's also not very soft. So when you're applying it, it feels like you're just applying like a waxing stick to your lips. Like it's quite stiff and you don't get a whole lot of movement. I do appreciate the fact that it is tapered because you do get a bit more precise around like if you wanted to just do it with this without a lip liner, but I found myself having to work quite hard to get it all over my lip without stabbing myself with such a hard wand, if that makes sense. So this one is Cherry Bomb. Do you see what I mean? Like it's first of all, it's very awkward to hold, like really awkward to hold, but there's not much space between where that applicator is and where this edge of this square is gonna whack you. So that is Cherry Bomb. So the color is beautiful. Like this is a beautiful red. It's a really nice tone and they dry fairly quickly. They are a matte liquid color. Then this color is called Don't Stop. And Cherry Bomb, the first one, is described as a candy apple red. And then this one, Don't Stop, is described as geranium. So you can see it's slightly a bit more, is it orangey? Yeah, it's slightly a bit more orangey and just a tad bit deeper, but they're both really beautiful. The pigmentation is like amazing. It's really, really just a really very opaque, deep, rich red for both of them. I mean, there's a lot of pigmentation in them. So I think the actual colors are gorgeous. I think they're a really great tone. Then we have the cool nudes. It's Le Freak, which is a pale pink nude, and American Woman, which is a chestnut rose. So this morning I wore Le Freak. That's what I currently have on right now, and you can see it is straight up matte. Again, you can see that color right through, so I really like that. But let me just show you as I'm applying this what I mean by this applicator. Because okay, so I'm trying to put it on the bottom. The bottom is fine. Again, the wand is just so stiff that there's no flexibility, there's no movement there. But then it's when you start to do the top one that you have this little corner edge here trying to stab you on your bottom lip. So I was trying to like do this and I kept on trying to like get this corner and it was trying to scrape me. And then like if you move it up, it's like, because the wand is so stiff, you're trying to get like the flat part down And I just found it to be quite awkward. And then if you go up, then you still, like, your corner of your nose is hitting the corner of this because you're trying to get the flat part. Like, it's just such an awkward little applicator. The wand is so stiff. It's just too short. That tip needs to just have a little bit more flexibility because it's so stiff. I just don't know why it's so stiff. I get because they want it to be precise, but I think you can still have a precise tip without that super stiff, hard bottom part, because you really have to work so hard to get it on there. I will say this color, the Le Freak, is absolutely beautiful. It is like absolutely my tone. You guys know these colors for me are my favorites. I love this color. I think it's absolutely beautiful. If you like nudes and you like a matte lip, I think that is absolutely gorgeous. If you can get past the awkward application, like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's just something to point out if I'm trying to be picky. Then we have the color American Woman, which is described as a chestnut rose. So that is American Woman. And you can see again, really pigmented, super opaque, like just a really beautiful color. That one is pretty much the exact same color as my hair. So it's got like a nice little bit of rose in there, but it's still like a nice kind of like rose nude. So I do love all of the colors. I think the colors and the actual like formula is beautiful. If you like a matte lip, I think that you're gonna be very happy with it. You can see like it's dried really fast. It is very beautiful on the lips as far as the color goes. And they don't feel terribly drying at all. They still have a comfort, like I have like a movement to my lips. They're not quite as dry as like some matte lips I've tried where it's like, oh, I can't even handle this, I have to put a gloss on. Like, I've worn this for a good, what, couple hours now. I also want to share the new highlighters with you because NARS did release new highlighters as well. And I do have all of the shades, so I figured I would just go ahead and show you those while I'm here. We can just talk about all the good new NARS things. I've already played with one of the shades of the highlighters. It was really beautiful. I liked it. It was beaming enough, but it was still like you could wear it subtly as well. So these are available April 1st on Sephora and Ulta.com. They're available March 15th on narscosmetics.com and in NARS boutiques. A change of sheen highlighting powder. Highlighting hits a new high with uncompromising innovation, second skin luster that blends effortlessly and fuses seamlessly for the ultimate natural looking glow. Inspired by the beauty of sun-drenched islands and exotic sights, the luminous shades range from white hot to rich bronze, putting every skin tone on the map. It doesn't actually say what they are. It doesn't say like highlighting powder, or it just says the NARS and then it says the color. They are very big. You can see that's a good size because that's my face. And this color right here is called St. Barths. These do come with a decent sized mirror. I mean, that's pretty good. Again, so if you want to get up close, then you have a built-in mirror right there and it is quite big. And then this is a huge highlighting. I mean, like, look how big that is. That's going to last you a lifetime. It is 0.49 ounces. It says the silky lightweight texture provides easy blending for buildable radiance that goes from delicately lit to strobed in the speed of light. It combines micro spherical powders and pearls that reflect light and melt seamlessly into skin to enhance your natural glow. There's 6 shades and $38. St. Barths is described as a warm bronze. So that right there is St. Barths. So you can see that's just a straight up warm bronze, like it really is. It has a really nice sheen to it. It's got a really gorgeous glow. So that's gonna be great for deeper skin tones or if you really wanna like bronze up your look for the summer. I say Ibiza. Some people say Ibiza, some people say Ibiza. I mean, I don't know. I grew up in England and we always used to say it was Ibiza. So I don't know what you actually supposed to say. This is described as a yellow gold. This one's not quite as like beaming as the St. Barths. I feel like the St. Barths is like really, really shimmery and really beaming, whereas this one is a slightly more subtle glow. There's still a glow there, but it's not like, whoa, in your face. It's definitely more natural. Next, we have the Fort de France. And this one is described as a champagne. It's kind of like a vanilla champagne to me. It's got a little bit more kind of a vanilla tone to it. It's definitely very light. And again, these aren't like the most beaming highlight in the world. They definitely are more of like a natural kind of subtle glow, almost like a glow from within, but it's more than that. Like it's kind of a mixture between beaming and a glow from within, if that makes sense. So you can see they do catch the light, they do have a nice sheen, but they melt into the skin beautifully. They're very kind of just like subtle. This one is Maldives. This is a rose bronze. This one is really pretty. This one is like a very soft rose. It's more rose than bronze in my opinion. I think this would be a really beautiful blush topper on my skin tone. If you're deeper, obviously you could wear it as a really beautiful highlight. It definitely has that really soft kind of pinky rose tone. Again, it has a nice sheen, but it's nothing like, whoa, Nelly from space. Then we have Capri, which is described as a crushed pink pearl. I think this is the one that I used, and it was really beautiful. It was like a very soft, kind of pinky, like those are the tones that I always reach for when it comes to highlighters. I like ones that are almost like a pink vanilla, where they're light enough to where they kind of almost look like a cream color, but then they have like that soft kind of pink undertone. So that right there is Capri. So Capri is my favorite. That's the one that I would definitely reach for the most for my skin tone, and for like my preference, I prefer like a really, like you can see that one really stands out a lot more. It just gives you a little bit more of a kind of beam, and I'll just apply that to my face. I already have the one from the Wanted palette on, but I just want to go ahead and show you guys what this one looks like because it's a little bit lighter, I think. Yeah, it is. So you can see it's just a little bit more beaming, and it's definitely a lot lighter, but it has that really soft, very, very light pink undertone. It's just really beautiful. But the way they melt into the skin, they really do look like just really beautiful and very in the skin versus sitting on top of the skin. And then last but not least, we have Albatross, which I think we all know this color because I've had Albatross for years. This is described as an opalescent gold, and it is a gold. It's like a vanilla gold. It's just very light. If you like a light kind of vanilla golden highlight, then you would love Albatross, but you can see it right there. It does catch the light beautifully. I mean, you can see they're all really pretty. They all have a nice sheen. They all pick up and reflect the light, but I think that you can build them up to be beaming, and then once you use a setting spray, then you can definitely get a really intense highlight, but it's very skin-like. It's very like melted into the skin, like one with the skin versus on the skin, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's all of the shades there, so you can see that bronze, what was that, the St. Barths, like it is intense. It's really beautiful. It really does catch the light. It has a really pretty glow to it. Whoops, don't mean to do that. And then you can see the different shades of the other ones. So they're all really beautiful. That one is really nice and pink. This one is definitely like that really kind of intense light gold. That's my favorite, the Capri. So you can see they're all really beautiful shades. They all have a very, very pretty color, a very pretty tone, and just a really nice finish. I think these are really beautiful highlights. I think they're gonna work for people whether you want a subtle glow or you want a beaming, because I think you really can build them up as long as you have the right brush, the right setting spray. And sometimes what I like to do is put my first layer, then spray, setting spray, wait for that to kind of dry. You don't want to do it while it's still wet, and then add your second layer and kind of do it like that. If you really want to be super beaming, you can build these up. They're definitely a buildable highlight, but the first kind of application is definitely more subtle, but the way that they melt into the skin really is beautiful. You can see right there how pretty that kind of like vanilla, pinky, like very, very light glow. They really are so pretty. If I had to pick anything, I'd go with these because they have a built-in highlighter. They have cheek colors. Like they're kind of a really, for 60 bucks for your money, I think this is definitely a good way to go. If you're a blush person, of course. There you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click that notification bell, and give me a thumbs up if you found this helpful. Thank you, guys.